All right, we are live here. It is Sunday evening at 8:30, and tonight is Sunday night trivia night with our guest Bubba Shipes. What's up, Bubba? How's it going? That's right, man. You can't have that much fun. So, yeah, not over yet. And you know what, man? We're having a good technical streaming night. It's awesome, and we've got Crypto Sifu is the first one on tonight. How great is that? We've got some. See who else we got on here. Got XRP Carolina, Ahmed Ali. We've got Tina Hall, Carl Lewis. Everybody's bouncing in here. Everybody wants some Bubba trivia. Oh, they can't hear me. You can't hear Bubba. Oh, come on. Hang on a second. Bubba,
Oh,
say
well,
something. Say
I'm
hey.
being quiet for once, so that's kind of throwing them off.
I decided to mute Bubba. So I figured we'd do trivia night without hearing Bubba. How about that? So let's start all over again. What's up, Bubba? How's it going?
I'm glad you tuned in. Tonight we're offering Braille trivia.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Right here on YouTube. See how that works out.
Just put your hand on your screen and feel. You might get lucky.
All right. So we're gonna do just like the past few times. Bubba put together some amazing trivia. You know, guys, there's been a lot of great things happening in this space, and one of the big things that happened in this space, and if you guys tuned in on Thursday, you probably saw that the XRP Minute did a not 500 XRP giveaway, but it ended up being, I believe, a 700 XRP giveaway on Thursday, along with some Kit Kat out of Japan from Crypto Eddie, and and one of those shirts from DNI. How about that? So Bubba, man, you were one of the winners that night too, weren't you?
Yeah, I was. I really want to thank you for that hookup. Now, what do I owe you? 5 XRP? What was the deal we
Right.
had?
Yeah, that's right.
Joke.
10%, 10%.
It was 10. It was 10 XRP.
That's right.
Yeah.
Let's make sure we get that straight before we get this all going
crazy.
here.
I'll be honest. It was hard keeping up in the scroll.
It was tough.
Typing and enter and typing and entering,
Yep.
copying and pasting and praying and tripping people. And, yeah, it was fun.
So just a little shout out to the smaller water bottles. So everyone's going with those huge water bottles now, and I'm just gonna go with these little minis. So they're perfect.
That's a cute one.
Yeah.
He got a little bottle and a big shirt. It's switched up.
I'm switching it up. I gotta go with a bigger shirt, and I gotta go with a smaller water bottle.
Just take the lid off the bottle, cut the bottom out, put a couple of holes in the side, and wear that next week.
Right. That's pretty fun. That's freaking hilarious, dude. Oh man. All right, Carl. It's not the size; it's how you drink it. That's what I've heard.
I'm not touching this conversation.
Oh man. That's so funny. So, man? So, anything else? Any big news that you want to talk about?
Well, I don't know how big it is. It was fun. We've had a fun week in this XRP land, no doubt. All of us in different ways, and if we sit around the campfire and told stories, it would be a great night. But in my particular case, Friday was a good day for myself. I know, I believe anyway, that Chip got involved with the XRP Minute, got involved with it. I don't know if you made it through or not. I never heard if you actually got a chance to take part. But we, in fact, were invited to take a time slot on the Bad Crypto podcast. And I myself, I know, I just literally got the link before your show, and I heard my voice and went, oh God, and stopped it. So I know I'm the first one they talked to. I don't even know what I said yet and in its entirety. But yeah, that was quite fun. And I'm hoping that Chip made it on. I don't know. They said they took 8 people out of their, whatever, 30 or 60 callers.
Yeah, it was funny, man. You know, they asked me, you know, some of the things if they, if I had any recommendations, they want to add some new segments to their channel, and I said, you know what, I think you should talk about. You guys need to talk about regulatory clarity. And I started going down this whole path on the Token Taxonomy Act, and then I get done with it, and I just hear crickets. It's just like silence. Then I hear the guys like, "Hey, hey, hey," trying to get one, his buddy over there, which one it was. Funny. But anyhow, they're like, "Hey, you didn't have any comments after that?" I think I just took myself out of the running to be on the podcast.
Maybe I started it off wrong by bringing humor into it. I don't know, but they were talking about my hot bowl of peanuts in your mouth and how to pronounce it correctly. So I don't know. Maybe I started it off wrong.
Right. That's hilarious. That's really.
That's so Bubba.
Fun. That is Bubba. So yeah, man. So what else? What else is? What other good things have happened here over the past week? Let's see. XRP hasn't mooned yet.
It hasn't. Well, apparently, however, and I don't understand myself. How did it hit $9 and change? I heard this week, right?
Yeah, that was insane, right? So, Yahoo Finance reported that that XRP hit $9, and it was in it. Did you see the article?
No, I haven't. I just saw the highlights, the headlines.
So the article was interesting, and at first I thought it was one of those joke articles, and right. then all of a sudden I get pinged by Yahoo and Yahoo Finance, and normally Yahoo Finance is a decent source for financial news. Let me see. I'm going to try to pull it up here. If you haven't seen it, let me see. I don't know if they pulled it off already. Man, I don't know if I should have screen captured it or something. I think it's gone. I'm trying to find it now, and it was so crazy too. Like, oh, it's the highest price point that XRP has been since August 23rd. And in the article, I'm like, I looked at the calendar. I said, oh, today is August 23rd. That's interesting. So I don't know if it was a mistake that Yahoo reported. What did you hear about it?
I haven't heard anything, literally. No, I saw the headlines, and I just, a couple of people just talking about, but I did not get into the meat and potatoes of it. I really do not.
Yeah, and it might have just been one specific exchange. I don't know what they just reported something.
What we used to call a fat finger trade, where somebody just, admitted a 0 or a 1, and they realized it, and after they picked their butt up off the floor, they said, help, I didn't mean to do that, it should have been this, and they
that was a bit of a mistake. Yeah, exactly.
A lot of people don't realize when you place an order, a security like a stock trade, there's actually a 3-day window for them to kill that order. So even though you think you bought it, that order could still get killed. Mm-hmm. So
yeah. What's this here? Carl Lewis, come on. And we got, has anyone said that, what is this? Who's talking about OTC in here? OTC, I don't even know what that is. Don't know what OTC is. Chip's going on again about OTC. Don't know what he's talking about. I don't even know what that is. But anyhow, I am down with OTC. So so anyhow, Danny Torres, I read an article that it was on one exchange and they had trouble with the Amazon API. Interesting. Let's see, they were reversing all transactions during that time frame. That was C. Reed. Reddit. So yeah, obviously, like Bubba, like you just said, obviously it was a mistake. Obviously they didn't mean to do that. Whatever. Hey, XRP Carolina, what's going on? Got Z-Bits in the house as well. Z-Bits, good stream earlier today. And what about Tina Hall? What about the Bitcoin debacle? I haven't heard anything. I don't know anything about a Bitcoin debacle. Bubba, are you aware of anything?
No, she just tickled my interest now. I'm like, Bitcoin debacle? Other than it didn't moon? No.
No.
Wait, maybe I did. Wait, it did drop off there, didn't it? Let me
Did it?
think. I've
Did it
had so
go to?
much. This has been. I'm not to. I apologize for not being prepared in that sense tonight, but it's been a crazy week for me and trying to so many things going on in my life and world between digital and new channels on YouTube and travel plans coming up and all. It's crazy. It's fun. And today I got sidelined with a New York air show and a baseball
Uh,
game.
oh
None of
wow.
that was planned yesterday, so it's
Oh,
all good.
okay. Gotcha. Yep. And then we've got David D is on a flight trying to tune into us. That normally doesn't normally work too well. I think they tweak their stream a little bit up in the air, so certain things don't come through so clearly. Danny Torres, Bitcoin went to $1 on that same exchange. Ah, interesting.
Oh,
So we
okay.
had Bitcoin down to $1, and we had
Dollar
XRP
XRP
up
at
to
now.
9. I like it. I like it.
Perfect.
I like what they're thinking. But then I would like to see get it. I would like to get that opportunity to come down to $1 for whatever insane reason.
Yeah,
But
just long enough for me to buy.
just long enough to buy a few, yeah, and let it go back up to 10,000 again. I won't complain about that too much.
Well,
Uh,
I have to tell you, the sad part about this for me is that I actually had the mindset when I heard that XRP went to $9. I was like, all right, well, that's not high enough. That's a good start.
yeah,
Part of me went,
right, yeah,
what's wrong with
exactly,
you? What is
exactly,
wrong with you?
yeah. We're on the right trajectory, and then we're gonna hit 100, and and then some. So, Bitcoin for under what is that? C Reed, I saw that as well. He's talking to Tina. Someone got 48 Bitcoin for under $20. That's crazy.
Sweet.
That's insane.
I hope
Well,
they get to keep it.
well, the question is though, if they bought, who
Who sold?
sold? So
Yeah.
someone got screwed. So
Well,
I hope that
no,
they
where's the market
correct. I
maker
hope
going to
they
eat that?
correct that.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
market makers got slush funds. I know how that works.
fix that. Yep. So, all right. So we got David D's flying around. Got things to do. That's what he's talking about here on the stream. We're gonna jump right into it. We got 20 people in the room, and I think we need to start getting into some trivia. I think 20 is enough, and I think we can have a good trivia evening. What do you think, Bubba?
I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm always ready for trivia.
All right, so I'm gonna rip this off here, and I'm gonna get ready. So we
All right.
are
Well,
gonna jump right
if you
into
don't
it.
mind, I'm gonna give myself a greedy plug for the second
Yeah,
while you're
go
getting
ahead.
her.
Yeah, that would be
Uh,
great. Go ahead.
just so everyone
Greedy
knows,
plug.
XRP Minute Chip just typed the crypto camper in the scroll. That is, in fact, going to be Bubba's. That's one of my handles you will see. That is for an upcoming event that I'm doing on YouTube with a channel where I'm going to be traveling with an RV around the coastline of Florida and different places. So I've created a channel. I'm starting to brand it, market it, trying to get avatars ready, all that good stuff. I've got a couple of months before it has to go live, and that will be something new that Bubba's taking on. So if you see me posting under the Crypto Camper or Bubba Shipes, same guy, same crazy nut. So
The crypto
okay.
camper, man.
Well, I
That's
did
pretty
put
big
together
news.
another 5 questions like we do every week with
Hey, wait,
first.
let's back up on this one. So,
Yeah.
are you saying that you're gonna be traveling for how long in a camper?
Mm, as long as I want. I don't want to sound like silly, but it's really one of these things that once I get there and the RV has been acquired and outfitted for webcasting and a certain portion of it with a backdrop and certain things, consistency, I will be traveling around the state of Florida to start with, simply because I'm going home. It's actually a home tour, and I'm going to travel. I don't know if it takes 6 months, it might take a year. I might decide to go outside the state of Florida and continue around the coastline. I like water. I do. I like coastline. I like water. So I'm
Nice.
going to live and I'm going to mix the crypto world that I love so much along with the RV world. Because as I was researching RV and I want to live in I'm going to get a hopefully class A motorhome 35, 40 feet long and live in it and travel along the coast, stay at different RV parks, whatever. They have this thing called boondocking. I'm not trying to sell you guys on RV, but as I
Uh,
was looking into that, started thinking about crypto and I said, I wonder how many of those parks take crypto. I wonder if I can pay for this with crypto. I wonder. So I said, you know what? I'm going to start a crypto channel. So I went with a crypto camper. I'm going to go to different RV parks, try to entice the parks to accept crypto or introduce it to them, if nothing else. And those that do take it are willing to accept it, I'm going to put out film and, promote them online and go to local establishments, food locations, gas locations, whatever the case may be that might be of interest to RVers, and let them know where they can use crypto if they're RVing, and vice versa. So yeah, it's a little something
Right.
I want to do and involve
Nice,
both
dude.
my worlds.
That's pretty nice, man. That's awesome. Sounds interesting. Sounds like a lot of fun. Sounds like something that we'll all love to tune into and see what's going on as you make that progress. Now, are you getting the RV up north, or are you getting it down south?
I'm getting it in Florida. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't want to drive it to get like 7 miles to the gallon. I don't want to drive it from New York. That's too much. So I'm going to
Right.
take my time, drive down, hit a couple of friends on the East Coast as I go.
Hmm.
And when I do get to Florida, I'll be purchasing the motorhome and
Nice.
setting up shop. Yeah. So life will be
Very,
good.
very
Then.
cool.
We'll keep everyone informed, but that's been keeping me busy this week in reality. It's fun. So I'm trying to work out the
Nice.
kinks and learn from you guys that know what you're doing on YouTube. And I'm trying to do it in such a way I'm not competing with the XRP world and the people that are YouTubing with that.
Yep.
That's not my thing. I don't care what my time slot is. I'm going to initially do recorded videos and upload those. I will go live from time to time once I work out the bugs, but the
Okay.
first few videos I'm sure are going to be just recorded so I can look at them and go, no, that was stupid, and redo. Edit, a lot of
Interesting.
editing. And I'm
Yep.
still working on my shtick.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I need a shtick, Bubba's Bubba. He's got to have
That's
something fun each
gotta have a
video.
shtick.
Yeah, I don't
Like
know if
it.
it's going to be Hawaiian shirts, country hat. We're going to do something fun and just have that little character there and
Nice.
have some fun with it.
Nice, man. That's awesome. That's awesome. Hey, before we get started, first one on the stream again was Crypto Sifu. I know I don't always do this on a Sunday. Normally this is open mic night, and we have converted into trivia night, and it's a blast. Love doing this. Now, trying to find Crypto Sifu here on Twitter. And I'm not sure if I'm finding you. I'm not sure if this is you. I don't think this is you. But if you're still on, you want to throw in your Twitter. I might need to back up and see if I can find it while we start trivia night. But why don't we jump into trivia night while I work on that? Let's go with question one. Let's go with the outline first. How are we going to do this tonight? Is there specific? Are we changing anything up? Is it the same? If there's anybody new in the stream here, it's Sifu Crypto. Okay, that's what I thought. You had it backwards. So if there's anybody new, anyhow, just a quick shout out on that. Anybody who's in here, why don't you if you can give a thumbs up, that would be awesome. If you're new and you haven't subscribed yet, hit subscribe. If you haven't hit the notifier yet, hit the notifier. That way you get notified every time. Oh yeah, tweet it out. Since we're just getting started now into the trivia, if you guys want to get on there, if everyone can tweet this out, say, hey, come and win some free XRP doing some trivia with Bubba over here on the HODL review. That would be awesome. And then we can kick this off nicely. So okay, why don't you go over the rules here?
Okay, so what we're going to do is the same as the other nights. We're going to have 5 questions in total that will be answered. The first 4 questions will each be worth 5 XRP for the correct answer typed into the scroll. The first correct answer typed in the scroll is who wins it. Well, Jeff and I will confer, make sure that's who we're both seeing, because there have been times where one saw one and one saw the other, and we gave both people, but we will try and pick a definite winner in each question, and then we'll ask the next question. So the sooner you type the right answer, the sooner we move on, the quicker you can load your XRP bag.
Awesome.
The final question, the 5th question, will be the bonus question. It will be worth 10 XRP. And they're not going to be too hard tonight, but again, a little different. Some of them may seem common to some people, but I believe that we become lazy. We've heard many things many times, and we accept it for what it is, and we know, but we don't really know. And when you break it down, sometimes you find out what you thought something meant isn't quite what it meant. So we're going to play with it and see. We'll start off easy with you, though.
All right. Let's do it. Let
All
us
right.
do it. Let's get into it.
Once again, you've heard Ripple being talked about in many news articles and on many boards and on many channels, and being discussed about they do business with this, they're going to take over this bank, they're going to do this globally, and we all hear about the IMF, the IMF, the IMF. I'm just curious, who can type in the scroll first? What does IMF actually stand for?
Is that a trick question?
What does IMF stand for? That's right. No, that's not right.
There we go. Okay. Bam. We got one right away. Kelly
Yeah.
Slade. That was
Kelly
fast.
Slade.
Nice.
Very good job. Yes.
That was fast. That was a long one to type too.
Yes, indeed. Kelly, I'm not familiar with your handle myself personally, but it's nice to meet you. Thank you. Hi. So if you would type your Twitter name if you have one, or private message me or Jeff in order to give us your XRP address that you'd like it sent to, that's great. Okay.
That'd be awesome. Yep. Perfect. That'd be great. Yeah, throw that in the
Costa Rica Kelly.
Yeah. Costa Rica Kelly on Twitter. You got that?
Yep.
Costa Rica Kelly.
1E. Okay, good. Okay. I will do that. I will get that over after the show, Kelly, just so you know, and everyone else. This will all be paid out after the show. Give me an hour and I'll get it all out to everyone.
Oh, there it is. Hey, wait a minute. We got another one here. What is at Slade Crypto? That's a little bit better. Okay. Awesome. So that's number one.
Thank you very much. Good job.
Number two.
Sincerely George. Oh, wait. I'm not talking to her.
Oh, wow. Nice. Sincerely George is on. SG, what's up?
I offered her a ring the other morning. She threw it and said, and ran away. And I was kind of insulted at first, but I understand.
I don't know. I think that was probably the smart choice.
Shut up, Joe. I love her.
All right.
Love her. You can't help. She's symmetrically perfect.
Okay, let's go.
All right.
Number two.
Here we go. Number two. We all know about Ripple. We love it. We eat it. We breathe it. We live it, right? I'm sure. We know how much it costs per second. We know how quick it is, all that. Or do we? How many transactions per second does Ripple handle? What is the number they always put out that XRP can do? X amount of transactions per second.
Wow. How many transactions per second? That's a good one.
Whoa, look at this. We have a superstar in the house.
Holy crap. Somebody's typing fast. Look at that. Look at that. Nicely done. Nicely done.
And look at all the right answers. That's what I love. That's
like
education.
That.
See,
that's great.
They know what they're talking about. I love it.
That's great.
Good job, Kelly Slade. 2 in a row. That's impressive. Let's see. Can they go for the sweep? And I have to say, I'm confused. Kelly Slade, is that a male or a female? Because I know both sexes with that name of Kelly, so I'm confused. But not that it matters, but I don't know whether to say he's great or she's great. But either way, they're winners. So number three, question number 3. Again, we hear everything talked about female. Perfect. All right, Kelly. She's cool. So every day we hear abbreviations for things. We know what some of our holdups have been with regulation. We know what the exchanges have had issues with, as far as being able to deal with people from New York and the United States as opposed to the others, and how strict it is. So we always hear about these AML regulations and AML this and AML that. What does AML stand for? First one in the scroll. Type it out. What does AML stand for when referred to in the digital asset arena? Regulatory.
That's a good one. This is a good one. You have to have AML. You have to have KYC.
We have a winner.
We have a winner. Winner.
Close. You were so close, Kelly.
So close.
Yeah.
Nice. I like that.
Look at it this way. Second place is first loser. That didn't really make you feel any better, did it? All right. Danny, I got you in already. I have you on my thing, so I have your email.
Awesome.
So good to go.
Look at that. That was number 3.
Cool. Yeah. Anti-money laundering. That is the correct term. And
pretty good.
Jeff, did you see trailer from the movie with Kurt Russell that's coming out or is out?
About anti-money?
Crypto?
No. About crypto? No.
Haven't?
No.
All right, I'll
No, I
find it.
have not.
If
Interesting.
it's
What is it about?
yeah. I have to be honest. I personally took offense to it when I saw it the first time, and then I get it's a trailer for a movie, but they kind of make crypto traders and people that use it. It's being used for nefarious reasons. There, it looks like kidnappings, blackmail, whatever, and guns and people being. It's a little far fetched. I don't know, but it is Hollywood, so it
Yeah.
is
Yep.
exposure and option, I guess, in some way.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Well, the ladies are taking over, guys. What's going on here?
Oh, I appreciate that. Look at that. SG says that I never consider myself having a smooth voice, so I don't. That's. But now I've got competition with you. You're my direct competitor.
All right. Well,
So-
I may have. Well, I'm just gonna leave it. Thank you. Okay, we'll see. I'll leave it at that. All right. So moving right along. Now this is gonna be a tough one, I think, but with this group, I'm not so sure. We know all about Ripple. We know about their CEOs and CTOs and all these other people we know about. And everyone's already on the Ripple website, I'm sure, typing in who is the whatever of Ripple. But guess what? I want to know who is the CEO of MoneyGram. Our
Bam! Holy cow! Look at that one. Say that again.
CEO of MoneyGram. He has two names he goes by, so either one will be accepted.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Look at that.
We have to know our friends. When you do a business with somebody, you have to know your partners. You got to talk about them, network. It's all about networking.
Bob Moneybags. Jeff Bezos.
We have a winner. I am impressed with the ladies tonight. You guys or you ladies, I should say, not you guys. You're killing it. Very nice. Very nice. Danny Torres.
Nice.
His name is, in fact, W. Alexander Holmes officially, but he goes by Alex Holmes. So
wow.
Good. Yeah.
That's and we're killing these.
Good.
It's killing these here.
Yeah, good typers.
You threw up some softballs in the beginning.
Now we're going to ask one more question, folks. This is the bonus question worth 10 XRP, okay? First one to type it, once again, we'll get 10 XRP. So once again, we love our Ripple. We love our MoneyGram. We love all our partners, right? Well, there's always a lawyer in the bunch. So I want to know, who is Ripple's general counsel? Who's in charge of all the lawyers? He's a really cool guy, too. Trying to get a hold of him on here, but he will respond via email. He's professional. Really nice guy.
The Ripple lawyer.
The Ripple General Counsel.
Ripple General Counsel.
No. Here we go. We got certain names that are thrown up. Oh, maybe it's her. Maybe it's him. No. So close. But no. Right team, wrong name. Oh, come on. This is rigged. I am impressed, Danny Torres with the correct answer. It is Stuart Alderoy. He came from a large company named CIT Group. He also came from HSBC Bank, where I may be incorrect, but I believe Chris Larson, one of the founders of Ripple, still sits on the board or one of the boards of HSBC. Stuart Alderoy was also on the leadership team for American Express, for their president and CEO, who had a special leadership team that they relied upon. So he has American Express tie-ins.
Wow.
Pretty nice.
That's pretty impressive.
Board. So I have to say, hats off to the ladies. You each get a dozen roses and some XRP tonight. So
Man.
Kelly Slade took it with the first and second questions. Danny Torres cleaned up after that.
Man, oh man.
Ladies, I'm impressed. And thank you all for playing along tonight. I hope somebody learned something or at least had a good time. That
was fantastic. That was really cool. Very, very cool. Nice. Let's see. So let's go over that. Let's go through that list here. We had Kelly Slade winning the IMF question.
Correct.
Kelly Slade winning the number of transactions
Per second.
per second. We have Danny Torres winning the AML question. We have Danny Torres winning the CEO of MoneyGram question. And we have Danny Torres winning the general counsel of Ripple question.
Yeah,
Holy cow.
I need it.
Nice. Look at that. Look at that.
Nice.
Congratulations. That has been recorded on the blockchain.
Very nice.
So
very
fantastic. Nice. So that was a great quick evening of trivia. Really appreciate that. I'm glad that you guys all made it on for trivia. If there is anything that you guys want to, Bubba sent them the answers. Yeah. Ahmed Ali. So I'm a little suspicious of that now too. Ahmed, I don't know about this. No, congrats. That's awesome, Kelly and Danny. You guys did a great job. So I'm just looking at the chat on multiple screens over here. So trying to keep up.
Danny Torres and I are not married. Wink, wink.
Awesome. So anything else that you think that would be really important to discuss this evening?
You know, the main thing is for us just to keep our wits about us. Continue to hodl. Continue to or hodl. Is it hodl or hodl? I'm not quite sure. I guess it depends on where you're from. It's hodl down south. It's hodl up north.
That's right.
So we'll whatever way, just hold. And we have to keep our heads about us and wait. It's a little bit of time, I think, for regulation still. We're waiting on some things to come out.
Yep.
You know, when that happens, it's a whole different game. I mean, we're getting fat finger trades at $9 now. Hang on. Maybe we'll get 900. Who knows? 90.
You never know. You never know what's going to happen, right?
And again, folks, this is the time. I know a lot of people have preached this, but don't forget for the new people, you need an exit plan. Figure out how you're going to transfer any sales that you make and figure out how much you want to sell at what dollars. Figure out how you get it to your bank account. Do you have multiple accounts? Remember, exchanges only let you transfer out so much per day. But if you have multiple exchanges and your assets spread across them, you can transfer from each one of those that amount into an account. So think ahead. I'm sure you all have good plans, and I hope you do. This is the time to do our homework. Get ready. Get your moving boxes in place. Figure out what you want to sell your homes for, who you're giving it to, whatever the case may be. When it happens, you're ready.
Yeah, I mean that's a great point. You know, and here's what I'm wondering about the entire market. You know, as the market trends up, how many people are going to jump out? And you know, of those that are holding or hodling right now, you know, and how many new people are we going to get in? So I look at this space right now. In order to see, you know, big movement, big momentum, we're going to have to see a big push into mainstream. We have to see Main Street, you know, really starting to invest in earnest into the digital asset space. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think you're exactly right. In ways, there are so many different things that we've seen come out, such as silly as they may feel to some, when you see things like the Miami Dolphins, an NFL football team, that's one, and I can tell you of two others as well that are doing the same thing quietly right now. But the Miami Dolphins came out and chose Litecoin as their official coin. So in the Miami Stadium, at least, you will be able to use Litecoin, guaranteed, or online for their purchases. That's great. Now, when the game is on, trust me, there will be advertisements everywhere in that stadium, and there will be little commercials being put up on their big screen in between plays talking about, we now accept Litecoin, blah, 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 at our stands and whatever it may be. And they're going to promote it. Now, that's one team. There are 32 teams, I believe, in the NFL. When they all get on board with it and choose a coin, or just choose crypto as a whole and accept the top 10, whatever the case may be.
Right. Yeah.
We are off. That's a huge, and that's just football. It's coming out with other sports are doing the same thing. Yep. We are seeing other deals, banks making it. You're going to see more and more media coverage of digital assets as a whole. accept it, embrace it, talk about it with your friends. It doesn't necessarily have to be about XRP. Ask them if you saw that bank commercial talking about their cryptocurrency. What do you think of that? Are you doing it? And see what they say. It's a way to
Yeah.
open the door, and then you can tell them about Ripple
Right. That's
or
I
whoever,
yeah,
all the
yeah, I
coins.
think
Not
yeah,
just
there's gonna be so much stuff, and I'm looking here in the chat, interesting comments, that here's sincerely George, I'm here to, catch your bags when you sell them too low. And that's what I see happening. I definitely see a lot of people bailing early. And there were quite a few people that when they get into a speculative investment, in my opinion, that they got in expecting a quick buck, a quick turnaround, and when that didn't happen, it went the other way. Many people at that point also tied up money that they probably couldn't afford, to hold over a longer period of time. And you see others
right.
talking about, the idea of trading and the ups and downs. And I look at this as, when I started investing a year and a half ago now, and it's more than a year and a half, but I definitely looked at this for the long term. I said, what this is, it's a growing space. Obviously, you get caught up into the hype, and you're like, oh my god, it's blowing up right now. This thing's gonna be, huge it's gonna be just unbelievable by the end of the year. Obviously, you live and learn, and then you see the trend throughout the history of the digital asset space that has trended up and down, and Bitcoin trended up and down at different price points. But you saw the movement with a percentage, and we'll probably see similar things like that happen again. The thing is, it's gonna trend. If once we see the full mainstream adoption, like you're talking about, you're starting to see the teams, participating with it. We're starting to see more and more happening at different levels. And once that kicks in, then everything changes. The dynamics change. However, there's going to be a lot of people bailing out. There's going to be a lot of new people bailing in. Yeah. So I think it's all gonna balance out. The key is really what's your own comfort zone. Because if someone at this point said, you know what, I just need to break even. I need to get my money back. And that's what their goal is, then that's what their goal is.
Right.
But if you get involved in a speculative investment, you better hope that the money that you put into it is money that you were willing to lose to begin with, and you can pretend like it doesn't exist, and you tie it up. And I still find it interesting. People are talking about the technical analysis and trying to trade digital asset. And when I first got in, I thought that I could trade digital asset, and I tried to use all the different strategies, stock strategies, and
Yeah.
it wasn't real. It's impossible because you're missing the fundamentals of the company. There's all these other aspects that are taken into consideration that don't exist. And you're looking at a market strictly based on FUD and FOMO at the time, and speculation. But I said, you know what? I'm putting this money in because it's in growth. It's a 5-year plan, and then you have to reassess in 5 years and you see where it is, but again, it's still money that, you're good, and I saw people, in the early days of high tech that had disposable income that were pouring all sorts of money into high tech, and many of them, with the stock options and all this stuff, they came out, living large, and this is that next opportunity that doesn't come around that often, so
I agree. I agree. And
yeah.
I think Crypto Sifu made a comment that I think is pretty spot on too. It says, honestly, I don't think we need exit plans. Cards like WireX, real estate for crypto, cars for crypto. In other words, you don't have to sell your crypto, put it into one of these accounts that issues you a debit card or gives you some type of a stored value card that you can go out and buy what you want with that crypto. Then, that's obviously a different strategy, which I think that's smart to point that out. You can buy Teslas, you can buy houses. You look at the property.com and the property coin.
Yep.
You can buy things, large establishments, all kinds of things with crypto. Use your card, do that. Now, I would say I'm not familiar with WireX. I know there was one problem where the CEO said something and people were videotaping them, cutting up the card, whatever. That's a personal opinion, and boycott a company if you want, whatever. But that type of a setup is a good plan. And
Yep.
my question is this now. So let's say you're a business and you want to accept uh, digital assets, but you don't want to buy them. You accept them, put them into that account, let the wealth, hopefully, as the coins would go up in value ultimately, you would have more wealth and more value. So it's, one of those again, do your exit plan from that location. What if they start to tank? Do you sell it all off into fiat? What do you do? So definitely
That
good thinking points
Man,
there.
that's a tough one. I've been asked that question a couple times regarding businesses accepting digital asset, and the way I look at it, if it depends on the business. If it's a business strictly of labor,
Right.
then it's just your time invested. But if it's a if it's a business of where you're selling a product, then you're basically taking money that you buy that product, and it's just another mechanism to then transfer it into digital asset. Because in that kind of an environment, retail environment or whatever it might be, again, if you're selling a product, then
Right.
you don't
And
want the
the
digital
feelings that
asset.
day.
The digital asset's not going to do you any good right now. You're going to need your fiat currency, whatever that might be, whatever country you live in, because you're going to have to pay, all you're going to have to pay the cost of goods that you just sold, and keep your profit. Now, if you want to keep your profit in digital asset, that's up to you. But I just don't see that as a viable scenario right now, where I do, when you look at I can't remember the entity. Is it BitGo that, or not BitGo? In Ohio and a couple other locations. If you want to pay taxes, you can pay taxes in digital asset, but there's a separate third party platform that the state of Ohio is using that automatically will transact and transfer your digital asset into US dollars.
Right.
You know what
Right.
that? I can't remember the name of it. I don't know why I can't. It's
Yeah.
just
I don't.
kind of just blanking out on it. But I think those types of entities right now are key. To where if as someone that has bought in, let's say at an earlier stage of Bitcoin, and they're still way up, they want to use some of that, then so be it. But that I think again that that my opinion on it, still stands. But I think they're going to need a third party entity to transfer that into US dollars today. But with all that being said, I think there's a lot of interesting technology and framework being put in place right now with the exchanges, with these third parties, with retail type businesses, with business in general, starting to structure. Because when things do go mainstream and it is adopted, then everybody's going to want to have everything in place to start accepting it. Do you agree with
Right.
that?
I do. And one thing that I've always wondered about, let's say I've always thought of it being accepted in retail more of the smaller locations. Not, I haven't even tried to get my head around the corporate end of it or large scale like Walmart and all that, how they would just accept it and cash it out instantly for fiat or how
Right.
that works. But with a small scale person, I'm thinking about, let's say you go into a little shop, you see a cute vase you want to buy and it's $40. So you give them $40 in crypto. Now it's up to that store owner that accepts that to have an ear on the market, if you will, or an eye on it constantly that lets them see what that particular coin's doing at that time throughout the day. And if they see that it's trending downwards, as you said, use a third party or whatever, sell the stuff off so that at least you get your thing. Because if I buy something for 40 and I give you $40 worth of something, but then that asset drops in price, you don't get your $40. You're screwed as the retailer. As the
Exactly.
consumer, hey, I did well, I guess, but it's definitely something that's going to have to be worked out. And I saw Citizen XRP made the statement, we shall see where the regulation framework leads.
Hmm.
That's again and again what I've said. It's all about the regulators, the regulations, and the regulatory clarity that is provided to the market, to individuals, to everyone, how this proceeds. Um, And I don't know if you are familiar with, but I'd like to give a shout out. I saw that Silhouette Park Farm came in
Yeah.
the room, and I've learned of them through SG's Sincerely George's channel.
Okay.
Met them in there, and I started following them on YouTube. Really, really neat set of people right there. Australian farmers, and he's a country singer. Well,
Oh wow, really?
I heard him say that. I've not
Okay.
heard him sing yet, so
Yeah.
I won't judge him or promote him
Right.
till I hear him sing. I might be a better country singer than he is.
And maybe not. So wait. So actually, Silhouette Park Farm actually, I believe, won some XRP on the XRP Minute the other evening too.
He did.
Right.
Or
So
she did. One of them did. Whoever
yeah,
types with it did. Yeah.
that's awesome. That's really
Hey,
great.
tell Nova hello. Tell Nova I love Nova. They got a little pony that's my pony. If I wasn't so tall, I'd buy him and ride him, but I just have to walk with him between my legs.
Dude, Peru crypto, man. What
Peru,
the heck,
crypto.
man? That's
love.
man. That is really, really nice. Holy cow.
Nice.
Man.
Wow.
Very nice.
I wish I'd have known he was going to tip like that beforehand. I would have told you I needed a cover charge tonight.
Exactly. Yeah, we might have to work that out. So, yeah. So what do we got here? Man, that kind of threw me off.
What's up, Auburn?
Rain here.
How about my Florida Gators last night, Jeff? It was a boring game, but they won.
Yeah, I didn't actually watch the game. So I was watching a new show on Netflix. I don't know. I can't think of the name of it. Man, this new show, it's awesome. It's car racing. And, man, why can't I think of it?
NASCAR?
No, it wasn't NASCAR, man. It was like, if you think about, dude, Peru crypto, man. Man.
I think Peru crypto is my new sugar daddy.
Right. Holy
He's so
cow.
handsome. Did you see his big muscle in that latest picture he put up?
Yeah, see that? Man.
Right arm.
See that? Very cool.
Your right arm bigger than your left, Peru. That scares me.
the camera. What the camera does.
So yeah, Netflix, huh? I don't know.
Oh, so what was I saying? Yeah, so Netflix. Yeah. So anyhow, so on Netflix, I keep trying to think of the name of it. I couldn't remember when I searched it up again, but we're over at a friend's house, and we watched every episode back to back to back. It was crazy, but it was awesome. Think about American Ninja Warriors, except with cars. It was freaking awesome. It was amazing. People from different countries, and we were wrapping it up. I was watching the last episode earlier. I didn't finish it, but it was amazing. And I wish I could remember the name of it, because then I would let everybody know and everyone could go watch it.
I'm sure a guy won it, right?
Let me think. Yeah, you know what? No, it must have been. Yeah, no. But the women, man, there was a German woman. She was a drift racer. So the whole thing had to do with drifting too. So, and it was awesome. I mean, she was driving a Mercedes something that she souped up, and her husband was driving an older BMW, both German. And they had this girl from South Africa that grew up in Soweto, and she had her old BMW that her dad actually sold his tow truck in order to get her car and everything over to the U.S. so she could participate. And she got knocked out in one of the early phases, hitting a water obstacle. And it was just, man, it was the coolest thing ever. I don't know why I'm talking about this, but I don't know why we brought that up, but it was very, very cool.
You live in Florida. When you drive down there, the roads are straight and flat, and somebody in front of you has purple hair. If you see it at all, and you're doing 30 miles an hour. I know why you like racing and speed.
Right.
You need to get out more, buddy.
Yeah, that's right. That's true. Yeah. And Tina Hall's been watching silhouette videos. Silhouettes.
I'm going to start doing videos back to Titanium Phantom, I think. I'm going to put my wrestling mask on. And
there we go.
Girls I loved before, who traveled in and out my door. Glad you came along.
There we go. So, okay, you got Silhouette Park to put up some songs. There we go. We're gonna see a video, Silhouette Park Farm doing some country. There we go.
Awesome.
And
I'm all about country.
calling you out on a country music sing off. How do you like that?
That's perfect. I have to tell you, funny. I actually have already planned the RV decoration, which I'll have my guitars and basses and ukuleles and keyboards all hanging on the wall. So it's going to be like a little traveling studio. So
Nice. Oh, there we go. I didn't know you played.
there's a lot about Bubba you don't know yet.
Right. Plays guitar, does all sorts of great things. Sings.
Circus active one.
Awesome. All right. Let's see, man. I'm out of topics tonight. I don't know why. That's it. That's all I got. Anybody else out there? If you have anything you want to throw in the stream, throw it in there, and we can figure it out.
I just want Tina to know that really wouldn't be that exciting. I do that on a regular basis anyway. Pictures, just ask. I do want to let everyone know that there was an actual sighting of a Yeti in the Dutchess County, New York area where I live. It made the papers. I am not kidding you. And I have a recording of it in the background at night. It's cool.
Really?
So, yeah.
Is that what you sent out?
Watch them, and they're passing out Yeti coins. I'm telling you, everywhere.
Well, they're trying to collect their Yeti coins. They're trying to make sure that nobody gets their Yeti coins. I think that's really the point. They don't want anyone touching their Yeti coin.
The crypto camper has a big bucket full of them. They're going to be spreading down the East Coast when they start.
Right. All right. I'm looking at the U.S. debt clock, and I'm looking for who just mentioned that the digital asset is in there. XRP hodler. All right. Dollar to crypto ratio listed alongside gold and silver.
Really? That's great.
Yeah, I'm looking here right now.
There's adoption.
It's a pretty big sheet here. It's insane when you watch this thing. Crazy to see how this ratio, how this kicks in. Where is it? I can't find it. There's too many things on here. I can't pull it up on my shared screen. Otherwise, I would. I'm looking over here, and I don't know. I'll have to go through currency and credit derivatives, assets, imported oil, trade deficit. Trying to find gold, silver, federal spending to GDP ratio, property tax revenue, state debt, excise payroll taxes. I'm sure it's here somewhere. And there's a ton of stuff on there. All right, I'll look into it a little bit further.
Could I tell you a quick story that happened to me this past week?
Go ahead. Go ahead. All right, go ahead.
My next door neighbor has a prize-winning rabbit. It's just a lop ear, but he takes it to the county fair and he wins ribbons, everything, right? So it's been, I haven't seen it lately, but the other night, my dog brings the rabbit home in its mouth.
Oh, no.
Dead.
Oh, no.
I'm freaking out. It's covered in dirt. I'm like,
there
oh
it is.
God. So I cleaned the rabbit up as best I can, and I went next door and I put it in its cage outside.
Oh, no, seriously?
And I put it back in there and I ran home. I was like, oh my God, I can't let this guy know I'm going to get sued. He's going to sue me. Well, I see him outside with a shovel today. And I go out and I'm like, hey, what's going on? He goes, I'm burying my rabbit. And I was like, what? And I was like, it died? He goes, yeah. He goes, the weird part is it died last week and I buried it and somebody dug it up and put it back in its cage.
Oh, oh God. That's too much. That's too much. Is that a true story? Bubba?
Yes.
Is that a true story?
I will tell you no lies.
All right, I found it. The dollar to crypto ratio, 48.68 to 1. Then you have the dollar to gold ratio, which is 59.50 per ounce. Dollar to gold ratio 1913 was $29 per ounce. This is interesting. This debt, if you go to the usdebtclock.org, you'll find it all on there. But it is there, bottom right-hand corner, dollar to crypto ratio right now. And then you have dollar to crypto ratio in 2013 was 9,667 to 1. What? Oh, let's see. Dollar to crypto ratio. Does that make any sense?
Dollar to
48.6.
crypto ratio.
Yeah, 48.61 to 48.68 to 1, and dollar to crypto ratio in 2013 was 9,667 to 1. Are we talking about
Well,
so
which
dollar to
crypto?
crypto, right? It doesn't say. And I'm clicking on it, it doesn't really doesn't say anything.
That might just be some kind of a test thing they're putting in so that when we have something to go by, they can use it. But
That could be. Yeah, that could be. You have paper silver to ratio. You have paper to gold ratio. It's great. There's so much crap in here. It's amazing. So you'd have to check the authenticity of all of the facts that are there. Gold is 5,800 on the debt clock versus 1913, and silver is 720 versus 1913. Yeah, crypto CFA saying probably the overall market, and that could be a possibility. How they're looking at it as an average. Yeah, that's most likely the case. So awesome. All right, hey, you know what, man? I was planning on keeping this under 40 minutes, and then just kept talking. So anyhow, I think we're gonna wrap it up. I want to thank Peru Crypto, man. 249.99s. That's crazy. We're gonna have to do something good with that for the community. Appreciate that, man. Always trying to give something back. So we'll figure that out. And then we've got, let's see, just to go over we had Kelly Slade for 10 XRP, and it looks like we've got Danny Torres for 20 XRP.
Correct.
Yeah, that's outstanding. Absolutely outstanding.
Good job, ladies. Good job.
Yeah, great job on that. Great job, everyone, for participating, being involved, and attending tonight's trivia evening. Definitely look forward to seeing you all next time. And until then, and keep on practicing your trivia, because this is going to come around one more time. Have a great evening.